Hello and welcome to a very special Melbourne Cup edition of Punters Inside Run. I'm Matthew Campbell. As always, I'm joined by Mick Sharkie. Shark, well done on Derby Day. So there's a little bit of coin floating around.
Bit of gas in the tank, Matty, which is good. Obama Rumai was good to us, wasn't he? The Japanese horse in the Golden Eagle. So something there for us.
Yep. Now, we'll go through your top four selections for the Melbourne Cup. Before we get that, your overall thoughts of the Cup. It seems to have a pretty long tail, like some of them do.
Yeah, I think this one does as well. I think all the action, not only sort of at the top of the market, but at the top of the weights, I think as well. You know, I don't think we have to go too far down the order to find the winner this year, Matty.
All right, mate. Vauban, form-wise, it sort of lends itself to being the horse they have to beat. But price-wise, I don't see it as a betting proposition.
I think it's one of those situations where you'll get better on the day.
Yep.
I think an Irish trained horse that a lot of the local rank and file punters probably won't resonate with. I think the early markets are moved by people who are probably betting every week and doing their form a long way out, aren't they? But, you know, the weight of money on Cup Day will come from everybody at home, Cup Day barbecues, etc. So I think they'll go for horses or form lines that are a bit more familiar, perhaps, the Caulfield Cup form lines and the like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're not on Vauban yet, I wouldn't be too disappointed. I think you'll get an okay price on the day with a 4 in front of it.
Okay. Have you got him on top?
I don't. I've got Soulcombe on top.
Okay.
I just think Soulcombe's absolutely cherry ripe for this race. And you've got to go back to the Heatherly when he was so dynamic at Caulfield. Underwood run was great. Turnbull run was fantastic. I think he's a better horse at Flemington than he is around Caulfield. Yeah, he's developed this sort of habit of missing the start. Joe Moreira takes the ride and he can make things happen with horses. They do respond differently to him. And maybe it's just a case of horse was a bit stale with Craig Williams. But as long as he steps with them or doesn't stand there and miss it by 6, I think he's going to be positioned sort of midfield and ready to strike. And I think he can win the Cup. I've got Vauban in for second, number 5. His Ascot run was great. The Nace win was very, very good. He's a class animal. You know, I think he's handicapped as probably a Group 3 winner, and he's probably more like a Group 1 horse. So I think he's in there with a massive chance. So is his stablemate Absurd.
Yep.
Don't write him off rather. And I've got Gold Trip in next best. So my numbers for the Cup, Matty, 6, 5, 7, and 1.
Well, and this is Punters Inside Run box first 4 because I have the same selections, and people at home, we do not talk before we meet each other. But I've got Vauban to beat Soulcombe, to beat Gold Trip, to beat Absurd. So I've got the same 4 numbers for all the reasons you mentioned about. I think the jockey bookings on some of these runners are very important as well, aren't we? We're talking about J-Mac, we're talking about Joe Moreira, we're talking about Ryan Moore, and sort of all these big jockeys will be there right at the finish. But anyway, we've got the same 4. Have you got one for the punters that like to find something really big?
Yeah, I do. There's a roughie that I think's got a massive chance of running a place. Certainly, he was a great run in the race last year. Number 12, Deshaun Sweet Jr. He ran 6th in the Cup last year. I think he's going just as well, if not a little bit better. Runs the distance right out. As I said, really good 6th last year. He's drawn well. I can see this horse running a monster race. He might even be one of those roughies that can stick their head into that 3rd or 4th spot, really fatten up a trifecta of first 4, Matty.
Yeah, about 90 to 1 at the moment. So for Deshaun Sweet Jr. All right, looking at the rest of the card at Flemington, what have you got for your best bet of the day?
I think we play early. Best bet's in race 3, number 2, Aztec State. Really good win on debut. Went to Caulfield last time behind Mojave Desert. Should have beaten that horse. It didn't get a run until very late in the race, and he picked up really strongly over that last 200. I think he'll go and win this. Stepping to 1,800 metres is a big plus. Getting back to a big track, also a big plus. And then we're into a race 2, number 1, Pounding. I think coming back for some Group 1 targets, back to listed level. Yes, he's got top weight, but he's racing well. He's just been out of his class in some of those contests, and I think we can be a bit forgiving of that. And I reckon race 5, it's a 2,800 metre race. The Adelaide Cup winner, Rebel Racer, isn't going too badly. We saw on Derby Day a couple of horses, Pride of Jenny and Najim Sahale, get out with big long leads and keep fighting. Rebel Racer likes to go to the front and bowl along. he's in a race where I think he can give some cheek at a big price.
Well, I'm in completely different races. So Punters Inside Run fans can follow you early because I'm betting later in the day. I've got my best bet. Well, sorry, race 4, Barber. I think it just falls into a nice race here around that $2.90 mark. I mean, it's just been racing much better grades. And it's got form behind Osmosis, who came out and won the Coolmore on Saturday. Just comes back to a 3-year-old set weights and penalties race and drawn the right side of the track. But my next best is in race 9 later in the day, La Danseuse Rouge, with Damien Lane on board. Got form behind She Dances, and we know how well She Dances is going. Won at the Valley of Chautauqua as well. And I reckon finally ready for 1,400 metres. And my value bet is race 8, number 17, Bezo, for Matty Kamani. I only had a couple of runs at Ballarat. There's a little bit of form around those 2 runs. Yes, has to step up in grade, but beat home Electrona, who won really well at Bendigo on Wednesday. Bendigo Cup Day, won by over 3 lengths. So yes, it's got to come up in grade, but it might be good each way play at double figures. So there's races everywhere, mate.
There are. She's a very, very good filly, that one you mentioned there, Bizza. So I think after this, she's off to the 1,000 guineas if she runs well.
Yeah, I think she'll run well. So maybe it's even a 1-by-3 play for punters there. You'll get something back in return. All right, mate. Well, continued good punting. Thanks for your time. We've got the same first 4, so we're boxing them up by the looks of it.
Let's hope we're both right, Matty.
Thanks, mate. I'll talk to you very soon. That's Mick Sharkie joining us as always on Punters Inside Run. Enjoy Melbourne Cup. Should be a good race, and hopefully you find some winners throughout the day, and we'll see you soon.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.